I used to command the Rhodian winds and your regions of the sea whenever I'd want to sail. Whenever I'd want to stay there, I'd say to the regions of the sea, don't smite the seas with your blows. Lay smooth the bring for seafarers. Then every fair wind is raised. They shut out the blasts, and so, God Poseidon, grant the impassable to be passable. Hymn 29 from the Greek magical Papyri explains the way that people felt in ancient Greece about the protective powers of this temple to Poseidon on Cape Sounio, overlooking incoming and outgoing ships from Athens for almost 2,000 years. The Temple of Poseidon represents the sea, a pillar of civilization for the fishing and sailing society that was ancient Greece. It is a relic from the Golden Age of Athens, 500 BC, and represents a corner of the triangle of ancient Greek spirituality. The triangle of Greek spirituality includes the Temple of Aphaea on Aegina Island, who was the goddess of fertility and agriculture, and you can find a history video for her temple as well as a meditation there on our channel. And the third final corner of the triangle of Greek spirituality was the Parthenon in Athens, the temple to Athena, goddess of war and wisdom. All three of these temples, from a bird's eye view, create a perfect triangle. And all three were built under the domain of Pericles, the Athenian statesman who is most known for building the Parthenon. This temple of Poseidon was a popular place for offerings, sacrifices, and rituals asking for bountiful fishing and the safe passage through sea journeys. It was also a site of remembrance for those lost at sea, evidence pointing to rituals done in honor of Poseidon to keep the people of the Athens hegemony in his favor. Poseidon was known for his temper and wrath, likely connected to the sudden ferocity of storms, which are still characteristic of the Mediterranean today. The temple is of Doric construction, similar to that of the temples of Athena and Aphaea, but with a larger font in the eastern nave, pointing to his connection to the element of water. This font would likely have held seawater to be used in ritual by visitors, and offerings were left here during major rituals. Water was also used to cleanse the hands and sometimes feet of ritual practitioners as they entered the temple. The temple itself is accessed by climbing Mount Sounio, and at the north side as you approach, you walk through what was once the stoa, or covered walkway. The marble ceiling that covers it is now mostly gone, but the Doric columns that line your entrance are well preserved. It incurs a protective atmosphere, reminding visitors that they are in a sacred place. The stoa was also used to leave offerings of oils, pottery, tablets with symbols, or fruits, utilized by all in the towns and surrounding villages who had loved ones at sea on voyages, conquests, or fishing excursions. In a culture economically dependent on the sea for food, as well as imports and exports, and conquests, the temple and the god Poseidon was pivotal to keep favor with. The temple sits on the site of earlier temples to the god Poseidon, who has been worshipped here at Sounio for at least 3,000 years. Mount Sounio, where the temple stands, overlooks the port of Lavrio, the ancient town of Thoricus, and several smaller fishing ports in use consistently for thousands of years. From the temple, you can also see 3 islands, including Kia, or Tsia in Greek, and from the islands themselves, the temple is a vision of majesty, reminding all that Poseidon rules the Mediterranean. The temple represented safety for those spotting it upon their return from long voyages. The temple has been immortalized in writing from as early as 700 BC by Herodotus, the famous Greek historian, who detailed an Athenian Greek festival in which ceremonial boats were sailed to Sounio from Athens. The great Homer wrote of Sounio, the sacred gate of Athens, in his tale The Odyssey. And in the 19th century, the temple made a deep impression on the English poet Lord Byron, who elegized, "Place me on Sounio's marbled step, where nothing, save the waves and I, may hear our mutual murmurs sweep. There, swan-like, let me sing and die." The majesty of the temple's ruins is still strong today, and the rituals of years past still tickle at your senses as you view the sunset over Poseidon's sea. Thank you for seeking Numina with me today. I'm Elyse Welles, and our videos take you to spiritual sites around the globe where I'll teach you the history and immerse you in the ambience, as well as guide you in meditations that bring you here so that you can access the spirit of place from wherever you are. Subscribe for updates on new locations and videos, and follow me on Instagram and Facebook to see where I'm traveling next. Take a look at the description below for a meditation and an ambience video that takes you back to the Temple of Poseidon at sunset.